Welcome to High Strangeness, where we ask questions and explore all that is strange and unexpected in our reality.
Welcome back to High Strangeness, where today we dig into the unusual, the unsettling, and the unpredictable forces that shape our world. I'm Tony, and today we're going straight into the heart of one of nature's most sudden, terrifying, and strangely beautiful disasters: avalanches. Snow becomes silence, silence becomes thunder, and in seconds life can vanish beneath a white wave of snow. Today we're exploring the strange power of avalanches, their history, science, and the chilling statistics, and what humans are doing to outwit this cold killer. I live in Utah, and here avalanches are a regular thing. Avalanches are fast-moving flows of snow, ice, and debris down a mountainside. They're often triggered by a combination of unstable snowpack, steep slopes, and sometimes a single footstep. But not all avalanches are created equal. There are two main types. One is a slab avalanche, the deadliest kind that occurs when a large plate of snow breaks loose and slides as a unit. Then there's the loose snow avalanches that start at a single point and fan outward like sand slipping through your fingers. They can reach speeds of over 80 miles per hour in seconds. And large ones can travel miles down a slope, snapping trees, tossing boulders, and burying everything in their path.
What the heck, bro? That's one of the biggest avalanches I've ever seen in real life. It's gonna pummel us. Oh my gosh. What? Dude, I hope nobody's down on Boot Hill. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Here it comes, bro. Oh, we are...
Here's where it gets strange and a little beautiful. Avalanche science is all about snow metamorphism, the way snowflakes change over time. Fresh snow is light and fluffy, but under pressure and temperature changes, it compacts and transforms into layers of different densities and strengths. Imagine a layer of solid snow over a weak, sugary layer beneath it. It's like putting a brick on a bed of marbles. The snowpack looks stable until it's not. Then you add a trigger, say a skier, a snowmobile, or even a loud noise, and that upper layer can collapse and slide immediately. The physics? It's part fluid dynamics, part structural failure, and partly just a chaotic system. Predicting avalanches is like trying to guess the precise moment a sandcastle will crumble.
An avalanche occurs when a layer of snow becomes unstable and separates from the snow beneath it. There can be many reasons for this instability. Additional weight from a recent snowfall, rapid temperature changes, vibrations from human activity, or even the passage of time. Despite what many people believe, the amount of snow is not the issue. It's the layers. Different layers of snow have different properties. The stage is set for an avalanche when a weaker layer is buried beneath a denser layer. It's also important to remember that avalanches aren't just made of snow. They can also carry along rocks, boulders, vegetation, and any other loose material they pick up along their path.
Avalanches have haunted humans for centuries. In 2018 BCE, Hannibal crossed the Alps with 37 war elephants, and many of his men were killed by, an avalanche. In 1916, during World War I, in the Italian Alps, an estimated 10,000 soldiers died in avalanche-triggered events, some set off intentionally by enemy shelling. In 1962, the Huscarán Avalanche in Peru killed over 4,000 people, burying entire villages. And in 1970, the same mountain unleashed a second deadlier slide, killing 20,000 people, making it the deadliest avalanche in recorded history. Avalanches are more than mountain tragedies. In some ways, it's like they're war weapons.
Even the slightest bit of pressure can cause unstable snow to, well, snowball into an avalanche. Lucas learned that the hard way moments after taking off. He falls backward and slides with the snow as it steers him towards the trees. Thinking quickly, he pulls the cord on his avalanche airbag, which keeps him from sinking into the snow. He misses the first tree branch he reaches for, but clings to the next. The snow moves on, leaving Lucas happy to be alive.
Now let's talk numbers, and they're chilling. Over 150 people die in avalanches every year globally. In the US, about 25 to 30 deaths occur annually, mostly in Colorado, Alaska, and Utah. 90% of the avalanche deaths involve recreational activities like backcountry skiing, snowboarding, and even snowmobiling. And here's the terrifying part. Most victims trigger that avalanche themselves. For years, I and some family members used to go snowmobiling in the backcountry of northern Utah, and guess what? We never really even considered this danger. It's scary as I think back on it today. Now, what would you do if you got caught in one of these? Have you ever thought about what you would do if you were hit with an avalanche? How about survival rates? If you're buried for 15 minutes, you have 90% chance of survival. After 30 minutes, that drops to 50%. And then after 45 minutes, it's just 30%. At an hour, it's less than 10%. It's like the snow becomes a tomb and time becomes your enemy. But once again, that's under the best of circumstances. You could really just get crushed or mangled by the debris or the weight or impact of the wave of snow coming down the hill. Remember what I said earlier, avalanches have been known to snap trees. So, it seems really like it would be best to avoid one of these altogether.
Make it to the ridge for sunrise. And we were just kind of warming up and shooting some fun, mellow pow turns. That was kind of the main agenda for the day. Just have fun and do some free riding. Nothing crazy.
Beautiful morning. Seemed like everything was a green light. We all rode one line each. We all dropped in off the ridge. Nick, Jimmy, Marissa, and myself, our lines ended a little bit higher up, and we wanted to walk around and look to what we were going to ride next.
Basically, as soon as we got to the bottom of the first initial pitch, we heard Weaver over the radio that he was getting ready to drop in, so I was able to get out my camera and film him, and the four of us had eyes on him as he dropped in. Oh, big avalanche, get on the radio. It was about his second or third turn below the convex roll where we saw the whole slope just fracture and propagate across the entire face. And that was when I put my phone away, we yelled avalanche.
The potential for hang fire and creating a secondary slide. I was extremely worried about that, and we made the call and decision that if I took a similar route to one of the lines to get into the bed surface as quick as I could, that would be safe and appropriate in order for me to start the rescue.
And I was able to lock on a signal pretty early on from about 30 meters out that basically just led me right to him. Harry was right behind me and had a probe.
I don't even know if we even said anything. I just threw my probe.
Probe at Nick. Nick grabbed it, one or two hits, boom, hit Weaver.
And within the second strike, I had him.
And I just threw my pack down and got my shovel out and just started digging.
I was, one or two shovels, and I immediately got his bindings.
So we're on him, and now we're trying to find his airway, so everybody's moving downhill.
He was head down. His head was probably anywhere from 2.5, 3 feet down, and his hands were trapped behind his back, and his backpack, his heavy camera pack, was kind of up and over his head.
We freed up his arms, but his head was still the deepest part of the snow. At that point, we had switched out, shovelers to get some fresh hands in there. I remember holding his hand, screaming to him, letting him know that we were there and we were working as hard as we can to get him. And so it still constantly hits me hard. I just remember his arm going limp in my hand.
We just started digging, like adrenaline is through the roof.
Eventually you just kind of get this tunnel light thing and he just goes to blackness.
Strike! Airways!
Eventually got to his head and his airway. He was just like, ah, like talking and like, I'm okay. And we all collectively could just, take a breath. And I remember just saying like, all right, everyone just chill, like slow down. We got him.
As we were able to flip him over onto his back, Weaver was conscious, talking the whole time, and clearly okay, and it was just a miracle.
Basically, I just remember all of a sudden just kind of waking up and there was, I could see actually some blood dripping down and I didn't really even care. Everything went from really good to really bad in a matter of seconds. And you don't really know which way's up or down. You get little glimpses of blue sky. Then you just are getting tossed around. It's very similar to going over the falls in a wave. It's just a total mess, really. Debris just came down and just took my feet out from underneath me. And kind of took me down through this chute. It just kind of pushes on top of you. And it just starts to just push you down. And at one point I used literally all my strength and screamed and tried with every ounce of strength in my body, and I could not move at all. I was just so happy that I was alive, and I just remember telling everybody that I loved them, and I just was so thankful that they came to my rescue.
So after all, what can we do? Avalanche mitigation is part science, part strategy, and part explosives. Yes, controlled explosives are one of the main tools used to pre-trigger unstable snow before it can avalanche on its own. The other methods include snow fences and barriers to slow or redirect the snow, reforestation, where trees act like natural avalanche nets, and snowpack monitoring, where experts analyze layers with snow pits and sensors, and forecasting systems using satellite data, weather modeling, and AI to predict dangerous conditions. And then there's the human element, education. Courses on avalanche safety, training with beacons, probes, and shovels. The gear that might save your life if you're lucky. But still, avalanches remain unpredictable. Despite our best efforts, they remain strange, elusive, and even alive in a way.
Okay, Taylor, one of the things that we hear about as flatlanders is there's 3 pieces of critical equipment before you go riding into the mountains, and that's your beacon, your shovel, and your probe. Talk to me about those today.
Well, before we'd go ride any day, the first thing you want to do is check your equipment and make sure everybody has it and has at least a simple understanding of how to use it. So we go over, start in the morning with a beacon check. Everybody puts on their beacons, turn them on. What do you have for battery life? If the batteries are below 60%, rule of thumb is change it. You can use them in your headlamps or something else. You don't need to throw away your batteries. Then make sure everybody's beacons will work. So you turn them on. I'm going to check the group, and then somebody's going to check me, and then we can go out and ride.
Okay? In the event something were to happen, let's say worst case scenario, we get into a slide situation.
Yeah.
What's the next steps?
First thing is everybody's going to get away from any potential overhead hazards, so anything else that could potentially slide. Then, what should have been done in the beginning is a group leader would have been established. The group leader is going to make sure that everybody's beacons are on search, so you're not trying to find somebody else in your situation. Then he's going to delegate. Somebody's going to call for help, and everybody else is going to go search. So he's going to turn his beacon on to search, and he'll actually be looking for people. Identifying how many people are missing is a big one. He'll start looking. Somebody else will run with a probe behind him, and the rest of the group will have shovels. Once you find the person, you get down to like small numbers like 1 meter, 1.5 meters, 2 meters in there. You start looking, then you're going to slow down. You're going to do what's called your fine search. You're going to get really low to the ground to make sure you're getting a very accurate reading. The numbers get lower, lower, lower. As soon as they get higher, you draw a line. You come back to where the numbers are the lowest. You head the other way, they start climbing, you draw a line. Then you're going to do it kind of in a cross pattern. Once you've got your line, dead center is where you're going to probe. And then you probe down, out, within kind of like 6 inches around there until you hit the person. Once you've hit them, you leave the probe in, and then you dig the person out.
Here's what's weird. Avalanches don't just happen in mountains. There are ice avalanches on Mars. There are rock avalanches triggered by earthquakes or volcanic activity. And under the ocean, submarine avalanches can trigger tsunamis. It's as if this chaotic sliding behavior, this sudden loss of control, is a universal force. A reminder that even the most serene landscapes can harbor destruction. Snow, in its quietest form, is deceptive. It softens the world, it hides the danger, and then it moves with fury. Avalanches are nature's paradox. Silent and violent, predictable and unknowable, beautiful and deadly. In the end, they remind us of a core truth in all of High Strangeness. Sometimes it's not the monster you see, it's the one that moves beneath the surface. Thanks for joining me on this episode, and if you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, like, and share High Strangeness with others. And until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and watch your step in the snow. There's a lot of strange and unexpected out there, so always keep your eyes, ears, and minds open. And until next time, stay safe.
Thank you for listening to High Strangeness. This was a glance at some of the strange that exists in our reality.